Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, Lordmich. Today's video, I'm just gonna go through my life story. Basically, I'm going to finally address my condition. I know in other videos I've mentioned the condition, I've done videos about the condition, but I've not said boom, this is the condition, and boom, this is what happened. So this video, I'm gonna tell the story from the beginning to the here. So my story with psoriasis began in Zimbabwe, where I was born, and I'm just gonna quickly read a description of what psoriasis is. I mean, I know what it is, but I just want to give a proper description of it from the internet so that I don't confuse people by the way that I describe it. Now, what I'm going to start off by saying before I read the definition from the Psoriasis Association page, a lot of people, in fact not a lot of people, because not a lot of people even know psoriasis exists, but those that do know it exists tend to always refer to it as just a skin condition, or oh, it's just just a skin thing. Psoriasis is so much more than that, and that's why I have chosen to read the description from the Psoriasis Association's page, because I feel like it describes what psoriasis is a lot better than the NHS website, which to this day still says it's a skin condition, but I digress. Psoriasis is an immune condition which causes symptoms on the skin and sometimes the joints. When a person has psoriasis, their skin replacement process speeds up, taking just a few days to replace skin cells that usually take 21 to 28 days. This accumulation of skin cells builds up to form raised plaques on the skin, which can be flaky, scaly, red on Caucasian skin, or darker patches on darker skin tones, and it is itchy. Psoriasis can occur on any area of the body, including the scalp, hands, feet, and genitals, although different types tend to occur on different areas. Psoriasis is basically my immune system plotting against me every day of my life, and then the symptoms of it plotting show on my skin. And now I'm just gonna get into how this even came about for me, because I was not born with psoriasis. My journey with psoriasis began when I was 7 years old. The way that I remember it is I got a spot on my arm, and this spot was just there consistently. I would scratch the spot, and it was just really itchy. So the more I scratched the spot, the more it itched, the more it itched, the more it grew. So then that spot then turned into what I now know as the plaques or the patches, psoriasis patches, on my arms. The patches spread everywhere. When it was just a spot or just one patch, it was just okay, whatever. But as the patches have now spread, they are out of control, they're itching, nothing is working. My mom was trying quite a lot of traditional herbal remedies, things like that, to try and get rid of these patches. But obviously that didn't work, because that was not the right treatment for this condition. The worse it got, the more concerned everyone became, and then eventually, whilst I was still in Zimbabwe, I went to see a dermatologist who finally gave the diagnosis of psoriasis, gave a treatment, and then during that time when I got my first diagnosis is when we were moving from Zimbabwe to the UK. So as soon as we moved over here, my treatment was just taken over by the GPs here. I already knew what my condition was, so I never had to go through the grueling process of getting misdiagnosed or things like that. Luckily, the first dermatologist that I saw got it straight away. So when I moved here, continued with the treatment, which at the time were creams. I was strictly on creams. And when I moved from Zimbabwe to here, I was due to start primary school. That's how young I was. And during that time, the GP suggested that I have light therapy treatment, of which I would go out of school maybe once or twice a week, every week. The combination of the creams and the light treatment was fantastic. My skin cleared right up to the point where my primary school experience, I would say nobody ever knew that there was anything wrong with me. Nobody ever noticed that I had, you know, all these things going on, because thankfully the treatment was working. But the thing with light treatment is it's not a long-term treatment. It's something you just do for a short course and then, you know, you stop. After light treatment was finished, I was back to just the creams, like the ointments and the steroid creams. I was on steroid creams for a long time. For the most part, they did their job. I would say my entire 5 years of secondary school went by as smooth as could be, all things considered, because during secondary school I did have psoriasis and I did have it everywhere. But because of the creams that I was using at the time during my secondary school years, they were keeping it under control. So once again, nobody knew that I had a condition unless if I told them. Like, the only people who knew were like my friends that I actually spoke to in school, but the majority of people that I went to school with never knew. You know, I had to get creative with hiding it. Hiding it was a big part. It was the creams and hiding it. The combination of the two helped me to make it through my secondary school years. A lot of people that I went to secondary school with now message me to say, you know, I never knew that you had this, or I never noticed anything. Like, are you sure you had this condition? So yeah, the creams were okay. They did their job. But what I noticed when I was using the creams was that my skin would kind of get to a stage where it's used to the medication now, so it's not responding to the medication anymore. So I would go to the GP, tell them, okay, the cream's not working anymore. Then they'll try something else. That would work, stops working. Then I'll go try something else. We move on from secondary school, we go to sixth form. That was fine as well. I was still doing the same thing of just creams. The majority of my treatment has been creams and ointments and moisturizers, things like that. So that kept me going during my sixth form years. I hid it as well during that period. I used to wear a lot of polo necks, a lot of baggy clothes, a lot of baggy jeans, a lot of denim jackets, big baggy denim jackets. And you know, back then people were just thinking, oh, Michelle's just like this quirky person, she's a fashionista, she's a hipster, like, because of the way I used to dress. But I just had to dress that way out of convenience, basically. But you know, I made it work. You have to make it work. After sixth form, I went to uni, of which my skin was not out of control by the time I got to uni, but I still had psoriasis. It was still visible. You know, my arms, my legs, especially my legs, have always been the worst place for me to get psoriasis, because it doesn't go away as easily as it does elsewhere. The psoriasis on my legs tends to be like really big patches. Like, I'll have a huge patch or lots of patches that just resemble one big patch. During the times where my skin would clear up and then come again, clear up, come again, each time it would clear up, my legs never cleared up. My legs never ever cleared from when I moved to the UK to pretty much when I got to uni. My legs always had psoriasis, no matter what happened with which medication, light treatment, all of that. The psoriasis said, I'm here to stay. So in uni, the psoriasis on my upper half was not bad. It was there, but it was not like bad. It was not noticeable. And you know, I'm in uni now, fresh as week, you know, time to wear crop top. and skirt, and I was just like, that was the most daunting thing for me, because I'd avoided people finding out about my psoriasis through the way that I dressed for such a long time. And then, you know, now I've entered this new environment. I'm in a uni environment. Everyone's saying, oh, Freshers Week, oh, there's this event, there's that. You know, I've made friends and I want to hang out with them, and I want to dress the part. I don't want to go to the club in polo neck and baggy jean. So that tested my, I would say, my self-esteem quite a lot, because, you know, the self-esteem was non-existent to begin with. But once I got to uni, you know, I started looking a little cute, you know, whatever, looking a little but in the back of my head, it was always still there that, okay, you look okay, you look nice, you can do your makeup now, you look good, but you still have psoriasis. Like, yeah, your makeup looks nice, yeah, your hair looks good, you still have psoriasis. You still got to wear a skirt and your legs are out and everyone's gonna see them. That was such a hard thing to have going on in your head all the time. I would always make sure that if we're going out, we're gonna go out really late at night, so that it's dark outside, so that if I'm walking, no one can see my skin. Or if even if we're in the dark, I would always make sure that whatever people I'm with, I always stood like in between them if we're going out, so that no one like can see me or see my arms or see my legs or see anything to do with the psoriasis. So I would basically be hiding behind my friends, of which none of them never knew that I was doing that, but you know now. And I would always comfort myself with saying, it doesn't matter that you've got psoriasis, because when you're in the club, the lights are off. Nobody's going to see you. Just make sure you get out of that club as soon as you start to hear the candy. Dun, 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 dun. So I always used to panic when it came to candy, because I knew that, oh my gosh, the lights are gonna come on. Hello, I've got all this going on. So I think during my uni years, my biggest challenge was not really treatment. It was more like what was going on in my head. It was more my confidence, my self-esteem, the way I viewed myself, the way I thought people viewed me. So that, I feel, could have contributed to my psoriasis spiraling out of control in my third year of uni. I do feel like the way I viewed myself and my self-esteem and all of that, along with the stress of being in uni, assignments, exams, and drama, friendship problems, boy problems, everything, all the problems just got too heavy, and my skin just spiraled out of control. Third year of uni, my skin is just doing the most. I'm still trying to do hot girl in uni. I don't want anyone to know. I've made it 2 years. Nobody has known, except my friends knew, but like it wasn't a thing that I ever spoke about the way I speak about it now. I went back to the GP to say, hey, this cream situation is not working anymore. And at this point, my patches started to turn like dark. This is the first time I had seen my patches that dark before. They were really flat, but just dark. So I went back to the GP, and my GP was just like, so what? Oh, they're not working, so is that my problem? The GP basically didn't care. So around this time, because I was very frustrated with the GPs not taking it seriously, also frustrated that I'm still flaring and I'm still in uni, someone recommended this cream to my mom called Etin. I used to get it from the hair shop. When she told me about it, I just thought, hair shop, okay. but that cream was really good. It did the job in terms of getting rid of the psoriasis. I would say I was probably like 80% clear of psoriasis when I used this cream from the hair shop, but the downside of that cream was that it was making my skin lighter, so it was basically bleaching my skin. And I remember back then someone asked me if I'm bleaching, and I was so offended. I was so like, no, why would I do that? No. But at that point I hadn't even realized that that's what was happening, and then the comment then made me realize that, oh my gosh, of course I'm getting lighter. Of course I'd started making changes in my life without even realizing. Like, I'd even gotten like a lighter shade of foundation, but it never clicked that, you know, you've got this foundation because of the cream. So I kept using it anyway. Psoriasis was gone. Cream was cheap as well because from the hair shop. I was just buying it in bulk and just keeping it and using it. And then I found out that hair shops were no longer selling this cream at all, nowhere at all. Even online, I couldn't find the cream anywhere, which was very devastating for me because I had finally found something that worked without even me needing to see my GP about it, and now it's gone. Obviously, after this cream had run out, my skin just flared back up. The psoriasis just came back, and it came back with a vengeance. It came back and it said, you are gonna know who I am today. I went back to the GP. I said, hi, it's me again, what are we gonna do? And then the GP agreed to put a referral in for a dermatologist. And then yeah, I started seeing a dermatologist, and because of where it was in this hospital, this like department was strictly just dermatology, so everyone in the waiting area was there for, you know, whatever dermatological needs they had. And I'd often see people there with psoriasis, like waiting for their appointments, and that experience just made me feel so like you know, we're in this together. I know I don't know you, I know you don't know me, but we're both here for the same thing, which I never experienced when I went to my GP, because, you know, you go to the GP for lots of different reasons. So once in dermatology, the first thing that they suggested was that I move from the creams and the ointments onto oral medication, like tablets, of which I said, sign me up, I'll do whatever it takes. And the first medication I was on when I started at dermatology was Cyclosporine. I was on Cyclosporine and I would take it twice a day. I would take one tablet twice a day, morning and night. Before I started Cyclosporine, dermatologist did tell me that, you know, you might have some side effects. Just keep taking the medication, because if you stop, then, you know, we're not going to know if it works or not. So let's do that. I started taking Cyclosporine. At first everything was okay, but then the side effects started to kick in really hard for me. I experienced quite a lot of nausea. 100% would not recommend. Nausea, I was nauseous all the time, and because I was taking the medication twice a day, I just felt like I was sick throughout the day, which meant I spent quite a lot of time sleeping. I had to call in sick quite a lot. I was not interacting with anyone. I was only on that for about 6 months. It was a short course, because long-term use of the Cyclosporine can damage your insides, like your kidneys and all them, man. As soon as the dermatologist started weaning me off the medication, the psoriasis was flaring back up. Once Cyclosporine was stopped, the next medication that I had was Methotrexate. I think some people call it Methotrexate, of which that one was okay. it did what it needed to do, as in the psoriasis was at bay. However, side effects. With the methotrexate, I experienced the most horrific mouth ulcers. I would have maybe 5 mouth ulcers in my mouth at the same time, and sometimes because I've got so many, they would just like grow and just form into one big ulcer. Oof. I have suffered. With the methotrexate, I was taking that once a week on the same day every week at the same time, and then on every other day that I was not taking the methotrexate, I would be taking folic acid, because that was supposed to counteract the side effects, but it was not counteracting the mouth ulcers. I was on methotrexate for quite a long time, a lot longer than the Cyclosporine, but I had to go back to dermatology to say, listen, the ulcers, I can't, it's just too much. I can't go to work, I can't do anything, I can't talk, I can't eat, I can't speak. So there's no point having clear skin if it means I'm not gonna live like a good quality life. So me and my dermatologist, we just sat down again to try explore the options, and she suggested I go back onto Cyclosporine and see how that goes. And at this stage, when she suggested the Cyclosporine for a second time, that was last year in December. 20th of December is when she prescribed this medication. By the end of January 2020, I said, cut the cameras. I was still suffering with the ulcers from the methotrexate. I was still suffering from the nausea from the first time I took the Cyclosporine, and now it was just a big combination of nausea, mouth ulcers, boom, at the same time. I said no. So yeah, that's literally been my story. So since January 2020, I've not taken any oral medication. I've not had any tablets or anything like that. I've just been using moisturizers and the steroid spray cream, Enstila. That works really well, but then obviously it's a steroid and you're not supposed to use it frequently because of how it could affect and damage the skin. So with my Enstila, I don't really use it that often. Yeah, so since January, I've not had any medication, just moisturizers and vibes. To say that I've not been on medication for almost a year, I would say my skin is doing considerably well, because it's never just been okay by itself. Usually it's okay with medication, but right now it's just okay by itself, which is very like good. I don't want to question why it's happening. I'm just gonna leave it to do whatever it's doing. So as it stands, I'm no longer under dermatology. I'm back at the GP now, but I do have a 6-month open appointment. If my skin flares up in the next 6 months and it's really bad, I can go straight to dermatology without having to wait to be referred again. So I'm just hoping that, you know, I'm not going to need to do that. I'm just happy that I can share this story with you guys. I'm really planning on doing a lot more psoriasis related content. But I don't want that to be the only content I do, but I have plans to do more, you know, psoriasis videos. Maybe if someone wants a video specifically about medication, or maybe how psoriasis affects mental health. If people are into that and want to know more about my journey, I'm more than happy to record more videos just talking more specific about things. But for now, I've been talking at you guys for a long time and I'm tired of hearing my voice. My cat is asleep, he's tired of hearing my voice. So I'm gonna love and leave you all. I'm gonna thank you for continuing to be subscribed to my channel even when I have not been posting. I'm so grateful that people actually still watch the videos that I posted before, are still commenting and interacting with the old content. I really do appreciate that. But I want to, you know, I want to urge you, turn to your neighbor on the left, turn to your neighbor on the right and say, neighbor, Have you subscribed to Michelle's channel today? Neighbor, have you subscribed to Michelle's channel? And if your neighbor hasn't, have a word. Have a word. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching my video, guys. I'll see you in my next one.